每個人一隻杯啊，看住自己個杯，喐啲。入邊有啲嘢咧都唔緊要嘅，因為我哋係重用咗㗎。好環保水。1、2、3，冇杯嘅就出聲啊，舉手啊，冇杯就舉手。
大家攞晒杯未？
下低一轉先玩啦，後邊嗰轉玩啦。你玩啦，
係咪？
可唔可以加多個㗎？唔該，可唔可以加呢個？
可唔可以加多個小朋友啊？加多個啦，好。
玩啊！
加多個啦，好。好啦，好啦。
And is it still the same? Not the same. Is it changed? How has it changed? Is it still white? What colour is it now? Yeah, it doesn't have a colour. It's see-through. It's transparent. So take it out the water, and just let it drip for a few seconds so the hot water comes off of it. There we go. And you hold that stick really tight. Really tight, really, really tight. And is it still hard? Have a feel. Is it still hard? There we go. Hold it really tight. Is it still hard? So now you can make it into a shape.
你捏你中意個形狀啊？你捏乜都得啦。
So this is a kind of plastic, and it has a name. This plastic it's called polymorph. Can you say that? Polymorph. Yeah. Poly means many, and morph means shape. So it makes many shapes. So when you get it home, if you don't like the shape you made, you can put it back into hot water. The kettle needs to just boil, so be careful with the hot water. Take it out with a spoon or something, and then you can make it into another shape. And you can do that hundreds and hundreds of times.
Can I have the other hot water?
Please.
Lol.
Keep them up.
OK。咁我哋整得出嚟之後，再整多個，再攞個第二個。唔係因為每個人只可以攞一個啊。咁我哋出嚟之後，嚇？你過嚟啊！你望住。再整咩形狀啊？你想再整咩形狀先？倒啲熱水落去。得。你想再整其他形狀，你咪 sorry 啊。你再整其他形狀啊？你再整其他形狀。
係放上 internet 㗎我哋。
哦 ，OK。
你個仔啊？
係啊。
咦，嗰啲咩膠啊？
呢啲係啲化學嘅膠，佢擺咗落熱水嗰度。咁跟住之後佢會 melt 會溶咗，咁跟住之後你方咩形狀，你小朋友隨小朋友。
可以放落個帽樹整個公仔都得㗎喎。
呢個絕對冇問題啊！呢個你睇下咁細個都可以隨佢中意啦。佢頭先啱先整完粒星星，而家諗住轉第二種佢自己喜歡嘅公仔。係啊。
幾多個仔啊？
一個
生多個啊嘛，生多個女陪下佢。
唔係有個女。
哦，咁啊好啊，咁啊身體健康啦嚇。
OK， 大家都係啦。
我想去影下呢個仔仔個爸爸嚟嘅呢個係咪啊？
係啊。
身體健康，恭喜發財嚇！
恭喜發財。
OK，好，拜拜。
OK，拜。
Hello, good morning. You look like a scientist.
I am.
Yes, wow.
Chemist.
A perfect chemist.
Chemist, that's right.
You look like one.
得幾靚啊！畫咩啊？最後呢個叫乜嘢啊？又唔係邊個㗎？實驗進係啊，星期大咯。係啊，我都唔記得咗英文叫咩啦。呢隻叫咩咧？嚇？花神。教翻先，佢唔同，係啊，佢係唔同形狀，有唔同嘅花，係咪？我都乜都交翻晒俾你先。婆婆都畫緊啊，睇下有啲顏色上去啊，呢啲顏色係可以又落手㗎，油鹽可以洗得㗎，唔要嗰陣時今晚出嚟嗰陣時。畫落面度都得嘅喎，畫落面度都得嘅喎。
好啦，再嚟咯喎！呢個。魔術咒語。魔術咒語係咩啊？慢慢啲嘛，呢個。Abracadabra。新嘅就係。係希望。但係嚟緊會有少少危險，所以要褪到少少。OK。呢度啦，點着佢先。
Adesso coolda. Andando back. Dov'è che si coolda? C'è il back.
如果我將呢個氣球擺落去就。
Dona. Ayan.
好啦。 呢個咧就係一個氣球，一燒就會爆嘅原理啦。係好簡單啦。係啊，但係嚟緊咧呢個先係最難嘅，就係我需要一個小朋友，係好勇敢嘅小朋友。因為今次唔係就咁爆，如果一個氣球爆，但係我裡面入晒水嘅話，好啦。如果我裡面入晒水，燒落去，咁你幫我揸住喺個頭頂度，跟住一燒佢，沖涼啊，好開心啊！睇你咁開心，不如你試下好嘛？你過嚟，你又驚啊？有冇驚啊？唔驚啊？嗱，事先聲明啊，你個頭濕晒唔關我事㗎。你哋兩個啊？邊個啊？答佢先啦。啱咗嚟咗啊！你唔驚啊嘛？好啦。好啦，揸住佢咯喎。係啦，舉高啲。係啦。咁咧我前喎。但你要先慢慢望下。未？係啦，玩火嘅話咧，小朋友自己小心啦嚇。
冇事嘅，有水。
見唔見啲火已經掂住佢㗎？見唔見到啊？
公仔啊！啲水熄晒啲火啊！
但啲水冇掂到啲火㗎噃，點解會咁嘅咧？
因為膠可以擋火。
膠嘅可以擋火，啲火會燒膠㗎喎，咁咪叫做爆咯。水可以滅火咧，係其中一樣。好啦，唔該晒你先啊，一陣間送翻樣嘢俾你。好啦，解釋一下點解咯。原來咧好多時候咧，我嘅概念咧就係，如果就咁燒落去就會爆啦，係咪？但係水咧，平時我哋夏天咪會游水嘅，點解會游水啊？因為咧冇咁熱啊嘛。原來水咧可以吸晒啲熱嘅。除咗咁之外咧，就係咧，當佢吸晒啲熱嘅時候，見到呢個下面高啲黑色。
You can't smell nitrogen. So for all intents and purposes, nitrogen is pretty boring. But nitrogen is one of the 5 coldest liquids that exist anywhere in the universe. Okay? So for a lot of you, this will probably be the coldest thing you ever see. This is in front of me, if I put a thermometer inside this would say that it was minus 197 degrees. To put that in perspective, your fridge is about 4 degrees. Your freezer might be minus 20 degrees. The coldest place on Earth in the South Pole in the middle of winter is minus 90 degrees. This is more than twice as cold as that. It's almost minus 200 degrees. Okay? So I put some into this here. I can touch this because this has got 2 layers of glass, and in between it, it's had the air removed from there. So this is what's called a vacuum flask. Specifically, this is called a Dewar. You might have heard of this as a thermos flask. That's the trade name that they sell them under. But this is a vacuum flask. This means you can see it. This stuff that you can see on the top, that's not nitrogen. Okay? This stuff on the top is actually clouds. Clouds, just like in the sky. I'm sure you've worked it out by now, but what's actually happening is the very cold liquid nitrogen is rising up, and there's a lot of water vapor in the air. The water vapor is then getting very cold, and it's turning from gas into liquid. And we get lots of little droplets of water, just like in a cloud. You might be able to see as we go along, and on the edge of this one, there's some ice forming. Yeah? So if it gets cold enough, then it'll turn the liquid water droplets into solid ice. So the stuff on the top there is not water vapor, and the reason I know that is that we all give out a lot of water vapor. But if I go and blow in the air, you can't see anything. Yeah? In the UK you can, because it's very cold. Okay? If I blow into here, you might be able to see the water vapor coming out of my body. Are you ready? Yeah? So that's all the water that's coming out of my body. That was me a second ago. Okay? So, you guys want to have a blow in it?
我睇佢一路講，我應該知道係氮氣。佢濃嚟嘅，因為佢係零下200度㗎嘛。係啊。一時你又試下吹一陣間。哇！
So while I was walking around, you might have been able to hear it fizzing. Okay, and the fizzing, and you can see the bubbles inside it, are happening because the air here is about 20-something degrees. Yeah, that's 220 degrees hotter than my liquid. So it's boiling. Okay? Because this is so cold, this is actually what we call a cryohazard. This is dangerously cold. If you think if you put your finger on something that was 200 degrees hot, that would hurt. This would hurt exactly the same. Okay? With that in mind, you might think, why am I not wearing gloves? Yeah? As scientists, we wear these gloves, and you might have seen your doctor or your dentist wearing the gloves when they have to touch inside your mouth and your face, all sorts of dirty places. Okay? Gloves normally are fairly stretchy, you can get your hands in them. I'm going to show you what happens if a glove goes into the liquid nitrogen. Notice where my finger is going. I'm not putting my finger in the -200 liquid. That would be crazy. Okay, listen to what happens if I scrunch up a glove. Nothing. With a colder glove, okay, you can see that these gloves would offer me absolutely no protection. If I warm it up a little bit, it goes back to being a normal stretchy glove. Yeah? If I was wearing those gloves and I spilt this liquid on my hand, the glove would freeze, and then the glove would be very cold and it would freeze my hand. But because it is so cold, we can do some quite fun things with it. So I have here a bit of stretchy rubber tube, 220 degrees hotter than my liquid. If we put it in, I can make it rain. I can even take a shower. How many of you would complain if you had a shower that was 10 degrees? This is -200 degrees. You see my colleague, he's been doing this for quite a few years. Where's his hair gone? The reason it is now stopped is that the end of my pipe is now the same temperature as the liquid. If I was to touch this end of the pipe, my skin would freeze to it. If I left my hand there for too many seconds and then tried to pull it away, it would rip off my skin and I would have frostbite. And that would really be embarrassing if I went back to the UK and told them that I had frostbite from Hong Kong. Okay? You might be able to see the white stuff forming on it, that's the snow that I was talking about earlier. We're making some ice. And you can see that we're getting some more water vapour coming off it. So just cool it down again and we'll look at some more. Okay. I can hold this end of the tube because rubber is an insulator. Some of you will probably learn about those words coming up in school, but this is an insulator, which means that the heat stays at this end of the pipe. Okay? This end of the pipe is still squidgy, and if I hit it, it's nice and soft. This end of the pipe, you see, is firm, and if you listen carefully, you might be able to hear a difference. Yeah, so we've got a nice soft tube, a nice hard tube. Okay, another thing that we have a big trend of in the UK is lots of chefs think that they're cooking with liquid nitrogen. You might have heard of Heston Blumenthal. Yeah? He's a very famous UK chef. He does a lot of stuff cooking with liquid nitrogen, and I've seen a couple of shops around while I've been walking around Hong Kong where they make ice cream with liquid nitrogen. This is alright. This liquid nitrogen here, I probably wouldn't eat because I don't know where it's been. But at Bristol University, we can make ice cream without liquid nitrogen. It's nice and clean. The only problem with that is if you eat liquid ice cream made at -200 degrees, that's probably going to hurt. Okay? What we can do is do some cooking. I don't know if you've seen the chefs, they always kind of show off with the fact that they can crack an egg one-handed without looking. It's not that hard. Okay, and here we're going to make some fried eggs. So this is another thing of liquid nitrogen. A little bit more. The fancy chefs will tell you this is cooking. Don't put your fingers in it, it's quite cold. See, it's starting to look like a nice fried egg. Minus 200 degrees. Anything that hasn't evaporated and boiled must be at the maximum temperature it can be. You see that? Put a little bit more in there. I might have this for lunch.